Now, going to the main two characters, Iron Man and Captain America. I'm going to start off with Iron Man and explain why, like, what happens with him. So firstly, let's look at his costume. His costume this is like the costume, the costume that everyone loves, the best costume out of all of his suits. Because this costume, it's believed that this is the first stage of him having the ultimate Iron Man costume. The ultimate Iron Man costume is one that's embedded into the skin. Not embedded, but like it morphs into the skin of Tony Stark. So he can wear something like this, walk around, and then the suit will just come on. It won't fly to him, it'll be on him at all times. And you see it in the film where his helmet, it comes off and it retracts backwards into his neck, and you don't see it anymore. So this is believed to be the first stage of that costume. I like the lights that are like placed around in a circle and in the arc reactor. And another thing, in this film, when he's fighting Captain America, he does something that in the comic books or in animated TV shows, he does all the time. He says to, and he's never done it in any other film, and I'm glad that they did it. It was like a small hint, but I was going crazy. So what happens is, he doesn't have Jarvis no more. Something happened to Jarvis. I think it's when Vision came out and he shut down Jarvis. So he's now with a new system called Friday. Now Friday is pretty much the same as Jarvis, just without the name Jarvis. It does similar stuff, but maybe not as well as Jarvis. But in the fight, he's fighting Captain America, and Captain America's just killing him with a combo, and he keeps repeating the combo. And Iron Man says, record his fight pattern or trace his fight pattern, and that is it does it, and it says it's now doing countermeasures. And when Captain America goes for the shield punch, the suit grabs it. So it's not so much Iron Man, now it's the suit that's grabbing it. And then he's like, he's gonna start fighting. So now the suit starts fighting, and it's really, really good to see that the suit, it's not just a suit, it's the first stage of the artificial intelligence predicting what will happen. In the animated show Avengers, I don't know if it was Avengers Assemble, or I think it was Avengers Assemble, or Earth's Mightiest Heroes, one of the two, he tells Jarvis, or he creates a program where it can predict what will happen. So it gives a percentage of how likely the outcome will be. For example, if a building is collapsing and there's 15 people in the building, what is the likelihood that you can save 15 people before it falls down and it breaks and it kills everyone? It'll give you a percentage like 65% or 72%. And based on those, you can decide if you want to save them or not. But that's the first stage, the way he tracks his fight pattern. That's the first stage. The second stage is him predicting. And I think it will be a really good film to see in Civil War 2 or Captain America 2 or Iron Man 2, whichever film comes out that features Iron Man. If he can predict situations, it'll show like back to the comic books and back to how Captain America, that Iron Man trusts so much solely on his suits and not so much on the people. In terms of the costume, it's still the same, to be honest. The color design is the same. It has a bit of silver laid out into it. The torso is still like a knight sort of torso. It's got like a layer and another layer and another layer and another layer, sort of like a roof tiling system. But as you can see in the armor, it's got like these, right here you can see it's got like this skin flesh sort of look to it. So it's really based on the human body. It's not so much based on a man. It like just this idea of an Iron Man. It's based on Tony's body. And another thing is, in the scene where Captain America fights the the Winter Soldier and Captain is like just throwing these combos, and you see it. It's like the three of them fighting: Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Iron Man. They all three fighting, and you see Iron Man's like taking a beating from both of them, but he does hold his own in the film. He shoots off like Captain America, and he starts fighting Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. And there's a scene where Bucky tries to grab his arc reactor, and what Iron Man does is he shoots like his reactor beam from his chest. He shoots it and he takes off the whole, like pretty much that much of, yeah, like that much of his arm, of the Winter Soldier's arm. Like this is all gone. All he has is just his shoulder. Okay. After that, Bucky's pretty much out of the fight. He's just all gone. He's on the floor most of the time. He just doesn't fight. Now it's just Captain America and Iron Man. After he tracks his fight patterns, after Iron Man tracks Captain America's fight pattern, Captain America he's not winning at this point in time. Iron Man's just beating the crap out of him. Eventually, Captain America he gets like, there's a scene where Iron Man's about to shoot him with his reactor repulsors, and the Winter Soldier grabs his foot because he's laying on the ground. He grabs his foot. Iron Man turns around and kicks him in the face, and as he does that, Captain America grabs him from behind. Think of Batman versus Bane in the Batman Dark Knight Rises. Think of Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, when Bane comes out, he lifts him up and he holds him over his head. And now instead of him dropping down like Bane did, think of it as Captain America throws him down and he lands like on his neck back part here. And now he's just laying there. And what happens is Captain America grabs his shield and starts pummeling the head of Iron Man. Eventually the mask or helmet of Iron Man just breaks off and you see his face, like, and you think like Captain America's just gonna destroy the face of Iron Man. But he doesn't. He destroys the arc reactor. He just breaks it, and you see like glass fall out, and that's like the part where Iron Man he doesn't give up, but he stops trying. And as the Winter Soldier and Captain America leave, Iron Man says, "That's not your shield. It doesn't belong to you. It's my father made it." And so he drops the shield and he leaves. And he leaves without the shield. And it's just like, it's a really intense scene. Now, going to Captain America, his costume is still the old costume like in Winter Soldier. He has like the same sort of, well, it wasn't the exact same. It's like, it's a new costume, but they kept the design similar. He's got new red lines here, and on his pants he's got some new red lines. I would have liked a little bit more designing on his costume, even though I know you can't change too much on Captain America's costume. I thought he was really good in this film. His gloves, he still has the Winter Soldier gloves, you know, the ones with the holes like around each knuckle. He still has that. Obviously, like in the picture that I'll show you, he doesn't have it. Like, you won't see it very well, but he has the holes here on his knuckles. And the funny thing is, this whole film he's trying to save the Winter Soldier, and at that, no matter what stake, he will try and save the Winter Soldier. And everyone makes it sound like he's doing it on purpose, that he doesn't care about the team. He cares a lot about the team. At the end of the film, he gives Tony a phone, like a cell phone, like a flip phone, and a letter. And on the letter it says he's sorry about what happened. He's sorry that he wasn't, like, he's on the opposite team, but he feels as though the giving over their choice, their free will to the government is not the right option. he explains that he has his team, and no matter what happens, he will be there for Iron Man. So if he ever needs help, just call him. So that's pretty much how he manages to be still kind of friends with Iron Man. He explains that he doesn't hate any of them. He's still they're really great friends, and he wants to be a good friend to Iron Man, but he just doesn't agree with the choices that's made by Iron Man, obviously. So now, after I've gone through all the characters, there's the story behind it is Captain America and Iron Man have to make a decision for the team, because the United Nations is not happy with the Avengers having unlimited amount of freedom to do whatever they want and not have to deal with the consequences, because that's pretty much what's happened throughout all the films. In New York, where they destroyed, where the Chitauri came down and they destroyed like nearly the whole of New York. In Washington D.C., where the hovercraft, not the hover, the what's the name, not the Quinjet, the hover station. Well, what's the name? Oh, I can't remember the name. Let me Google search this. It's like a base.
I really can't remember the name. What was the name? Good lord. I really can't remember the name. But there's like, yeah, there's, what's the name? Washington, D.C. Okay, Washington, D.C. So they make this big floating airship that they land all the ships on.
And that plummets to Washington D.C. and destroys like a lot of houses and stuff. And then they go into Nigeria, Lagos, and they show how there explosions and how they destroyed a lot of people's lives there. And then they show Sokovia. And there's a lot of different places on the map that they show. But they don't like the idea of them having unlimited freedom. They want them to have a limit. So the choices, they have these Sokovian Accords, which basically states they will not be able to put on their suits or jump into battle without the United Nations agreeing for it. They won't become a privately funded organization. They'll become a public service like the police or something like that, but they can't go out into, if they wanted to go tomorrow or now, if they wanted to go out and look for trouble, they can't, because their stuff is owned by the government. The government will own them in a way. And Captain America, he comes to the idea that he doesn't want that. He feels as though if they put them in a place that they don't want to be, they don't have a choice. They have to be there. If they put them in a place that they want to go, and the government or the European Union says, no, you can't go there, it's not important, then they can't. And he explains that the safest, he says a phrase which is, the safest hands are still our own. And he explains that if you don't sign the accords, you have your free will, you have your choice. And you can kind of understand where the Captain America was coming from, because when he was thawed out, he found out that the government wasn't really the same government that he thought. They have secret agendas, and he doesn't trust the government. He's really against the government throughout all of the Captain America films. He works with the government in the first Captain America film before he becomes Captain America. He loves the military, he wants to go in. At the end, in the second Captain America film, The Winter Soldier, he finds out that the government have secret agendas and he doesn't trust them no more. So in the third film, in the Civil War, he's really coming off of a bad foot from the government. He's showing that they have secret agendas, they don't care about individual people's choice. As long as they're part of the government's bigger plan, then they don't really care. And it's a really big problem, really. It's something that I would like to say that I'm on Captain America's side, but if you're on Captain America's side, you're a criminal, you're labeled as a criminal. If you want to help someone, you can't, because you'll be labeled as a criminal. You can help them, it's going to be really difficult to help them, just because of the fact that you can't just go out and save someone and people will say, oh, thank you for coming. They'll label you as a criminal. And no matter what you do, no matter how many times you help, you won't be able to help as many people as if you were labeled a criminal rather than a hero. And Iron Man, he chooses to be put in check with the government, because every time they go and save something or someone dies or someone gets hurt. And Iron Man just thinks like, this is the best option, doesn't matter what happens. As long as there's someone there to take accountable for our actions, then he's safe with it. And that's how the big story starts. That's how they get into all this argument. That's how they don't, I wouldn't say they don't care, but they're really, really angry with just everything, all the people, and yeah, that's my review on the film. I really enjoyed it. The post-credit scene, it's pretty much Captain America and Bucky Barnes in this facility, like in this secret facility, like in this secret building. They later find out that it's not a secret building in like just a normal factory. It's a secret building in Wakanda, and Captain America says they will find him, like find out where they are, and they'll try and attack. And as he says that, the Black Panther says, oh, let them try. And the camera pans out and they see like this big forest, and there's a big picture of a panther, like this big statue of a panther. And that lets you know that you're in Wakanda. So that's my opinion on the film. I know I'm not the greatest sort of reviewer of films. I'm sorry if this video is long. It's just there's a lot of stuff to speak about in the film. I apologize for my glasses. See, they're reflecting all the time. So you would have seen me change pictures and stuff, but that's pretty much how I'm looking at it, just changing pictures. But that's my opinion on the film. Let me know what you guys think, and if there's anything I left out, hit it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. If you didn't like the film or you didn't like the review, tell me what I could improve on, and just share it so that I can get as much feedback as possible, so I can change, and not so much change but improve, so I can make my videos more worthwhile for you guys to see it. So this has been your boy Alex, or aka Nosepass, and don't forget to have a good day. Peace.